Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working a little bit on building tall here, but mostly what we're doing is we're working our way through some of these military sciences. We're definitely going to want to get a fair amount more of that, that's for sure, but we're also negative on consumer goods right now. Now we do have a fair amount of constructions being built that will alleviate some of that. Anyway, we'll see how much ends up being eliminated. But for now, that'll be okay. We found a library on Tiersonia 2. Okay, we will keep at that. And we also have an available leader trait here. So what do we want to grab? Research speed for military theory. Or research speed for computing. I guess we'll go for that. Sure. That seems reasonably fine for now. So we are obviously also slightly negative in our exotic gases. Not very negative, but very slightly negative. So we're going to want to do something about that for sure. We just saw a bunch of these jobs pop in. That's fine. We're constructing in every single one of these locations that they popped in. So that is absolutely okay. So Azarin's Rafflesia we have dealt with at this point. Our initial attempts to provoke a reaction from the flower bud were underwhelming. It was only when we applied electrical stimuli beyond our safety parameters that we were able to bring the flower to bloom. We've completed Azarin's latest task and are ready to contact her again. Okay, so we get 5,000 society research out of that. A tiny pollination drone buzzes around Azarin's head. She gently wafts it away. Hello again. Yes, the Galactic market was made in the Tadasca system. That's fine. We made no effort to get it whatsoever. Hello again. The Rafflesia Asthea sure is an interesting plant, wouldn't you agree? Evolution truly is a wondrous thing. Yeah, we don't have that anymore. I'm impressed you were able to apply the required amount of energy to make it bloom. She claps her hands excitedly. Time for another question. Would you sacrifice your own kind if it meant you could save lives elsewhere? On a massive scale? We already have. We sacrificed ourselves to save ourselves. I guess the qualifier here is save lives elsewhere? So that is maybe a little bit of a twist to it. That is asking, would we sacrifice our own lives to save other lives on a massive scale? Of course, what we did was saving ourselves. That is a distinctly different question. Would we do that? We're pretty materialistic, if I recall correctly. So let's see here. We are fanatic materialists and authoritarians. We probably wouldn't. Indeed, it is not an easy thing to do. I appreciate your honesty. However, it is my belief that for the betterment of all, intelligent life must always give precedence to the selfless choice. I have one final question for you. Would you hesitate to remove a threat? No, hesitation gets you killed. I agree. Decisiveness is vital, but some situations require extra consideration. Sometimes you're not fortunate enough to have all of the necessary information right away. Patience could benefit you greatly. Azarin is quiet for a moment, then concludes, well, I've asked you enough questions. You possess admirable patience. I will take some time to collate this information. We shall speak again soon. Okay, so I have no idea if we succeeded that or not. That should be interesting. We'll see what she comes back with.
Project concluded.
So just finished up in Daba here. That's fine. That's not much else that we can do there. In Tius and in Nahal, of course, we're working on upgrading this to a Starhold. We want to harvest some of the trade value that's out over here. Free Brill administration is now guaranteeing the independence of the Lavan Union. Okay. Blue laser research is finished, and we want to continue to work through these. I'm thinking Hyperdrive 3. Now, we do have access at this point to hyper relays, and we can flash forge one, which I'm going to do. Excellent. So we can now build one instantly and for free. That's going to be down in our capital. So that sounds good. I do want to get a second construction ship. Azarin has shown up and is offering us employment. So that is to say, she is offering that we employ her. So that's interesting for sure. So additional leader trade options, research speed, monthly food. We're not really striving to create new life, though. We're striving to move life into robot bodies. So I think we might actually say no to her here. These traits aren't the best in the world. Sorry, Azerin. We decline. Okay, so we're continuing to work on our archaeological sites. We are still negative on consumer goods. We're not as negative as we have been. However, we do have these 2 tech worlds, and I would definitely like to put in a city district here. And on this tech world, we're going to need another city district. I would like a building slot. That said, a planetary administration would do the trick. We can actually... Oh, we don't have the pop count for that. Never mind. We're going to want to just build a city district then. Just waiting on the month tick on that one, and there we go. So that looks good for the moment. We are building an industrial district here, which is going to produce a fair amount. That should actually put us positive in consumer goods. Well, maybe not yet, because we only have 1 unemployment pop, but it eventually would, once we have another pop growth, which would be in 9 months. Okay, that seems reasonably fine. Yeah, in the category of reasonably fine. So we just finished up our fleet command limit. That sounds good. And next up, we could grab another fleet command limit. Hydroponics farms, not all that relevant. Reverse engineering minor artifacts. Do we have income in minor artifacts? We do. +3 right now. Okay, so that is intriguing for sure. I do want the ability to reverse engineer minor artifacts in case we cap them. So for now, that'll be fine. So -5 on the consumer goods? Yeah, that's more like where I expected to be. That's okay. Another archaeological site pending, so we find more minor artifacts. Excellent. And I did want to get another construction ship out. So let's go ahead and do that. And we are going to want to build quite a lot. Quite a lot of hyper relays. So, I'm going to send you, not you, I'm going to send you down to Barnard Star. We definitely want to be able to move around down here. So we're going to build a hyper relay this way. Now that requires 100 rare crystals. We don't have very many rare crystals right now, and that is a concern. For sure. We're going to need more rare crystals. That is what our mining worlds are for. We'll get there. We do need more building slots on them, of course. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty long and drawn-out process. Now, we're going to be able to buy rare crystals. It's about 1,200 energy credits per 100 right now. That's not a great exchange rate, but it will have to do for the moment. So this is fine for right now.
Concluded.
We did just finish up in TUs, though, and we can't upgrade this any further. For now, we should probably just fill this out with trade hubs, and we should also put in a nebula refinery. Wouldn't be too bad. That does produce an exotic gas. What we really want here, we don't have available. Yeah, what we really want here would be a trade collection upgrade. So let's put in a nebula refinery there. We can probably not put any buildings in over on this side yet, other than like a resource silo or a transit hub. But I don't think that's even that big of a deal. Yeah, so I think we would just put in like a resource silo here for now. And then we'll just leave this building slot empty. That sounds good for now. So we're going to be able to harvest a fair amount of our trade. The Republic of Shantar Prime declared rivalry on us. Okay. Migration treaty broken? Sure. So we're at -7, now at -4 consumer goods. We do have another round of buildings that need to be built. So this is a factory world here. We do produce a lot of consumer goods here. I would absolutely like to get an industrial district going there. We do need to buy in a few consumer goods. I'm going to do that just to buy us a little bit of time. Then we've got this fortress world here, and we would like to build a stronghold here, for sure. So we'll get going on that. That's going to boost up our naval cap. And then this tech world, obviously we want to build some tech here, right? An identity repository would be the way to go. That's very expensive. So we'd have to buy in a lot of minerals. We can do it. We'll need more minerals than this, though. Okay, let's get the identity repository in here. This industrial world, it does produce some amount of consumer goods, so that's all fine. Let's build an industrial district here. This generator world, currently maxed on generators, so let's build a mining district there. This mining world here, obviously a mining district. We are minus 10 on amenities at this point. So minus 10 amenities is not necessarily great. We could distribute luxury goods, but that's probably not what we want to do here. We probably want to just solve that amenities usage. This upgrade would give us overall plus 11 amenities, so that's not quite going to be enough as it is right now, let alone when we get 7 more pops here. So that's definitely a bit of a concern. We're going to need to tick forward and get some additional minerals. So we'll get this mining district built as soon as the month tick happens. There we go. Now, we've got this tech world here. Once again, an identity repository would be the way to go. So there's that. That's very expensive. How do we want to get that? Well, for right now, I'm going to sell off some volatile motes. Something like that, and we're just going to buy in a bunch of minerals, like 2,500. It'll have to do for now. So an identity repository goes in here. We're going to be done constructing those identity repositories reasonably soon, but we need one here. And we don't need a job. Keep in mind, identity repositories don't actually give us a job. So actually, we should probably cancel the identity repository here, and we should put in a research lab to get us the job, then build a city district, then build the identity repository once the city district is built and we have this building slot. Then up in this tech world, we don't actually need a job here. So an identity repository here is fine. That's completely and totally okay. So at this point, I'd like to sell off a little bit of food and buy in more minerals. Okay, an identity repository goes in here. This generator world would require a generator district. That's fine. And then our capital requires something. What do we want? Honestly, I think a building slot. 3 building slots would take 3 city districts. We're on planetary capital right now. So let's just go until the month tick. We'll get a city district in here. That'll do for now. We're kind of turning this sort of into a... Out of curiosity, the Vaults of Knowledge produces a little bit of unity. Yeah, okay. So we're kind of turning this into a science world as well. That's fine. So we have most of what we wanted built there. This archaeological site is completed, and we end up getting 500 alloys. Okay, this one is completely done. And what science ship was that? This construction ship isn't doing anything, and that's not surprising. We're going to build a hyper relay out over here, but the... Okay. The Tsiolkovsky. So we're going to send that up over to, like, Jaltham, and we'll go excavate up there. We need to get all of these archaeological digs done, and this seems absolutely fine for right now. Cool. So the first fleet can get upgraded, absolutely. There's a lot of things we can do on that front. We're still pretty negative on our consumer goods. We have this archaeological site pending. We'll stabilize the ruins. It's only 100 energy credits. I'm not too concerned about that. So that seems fine for now. This tech world requires a job. It already has the identity repository, so that's nice. And we can simply put in a research lab. We're going to require 35 more minerals for that, so we'll have to wait for the month to
Research concluded.
But there we go. This tech world requires a job. The colony is too new for migration, yes, but this is definitely going to take a little bit to get that done. Tomb world habitability coming up. That's not too bad. I don't think we have any tomb worlds, but we can grab it. We will find some eventually. So we could grab ourselves a tradition here. This will be in the supremacy tradition. Damage versus starbases, or just ship upkeep and naval cap. That's obviously what we take. So that's fine for now. On this tech world, we definitely want to build something. We could go for something like an astral siphon. And that's likely what we'll end up doing. Now, we do have a fair amount of consumer goods still negative here. The final days. Okay, ancient target scrambler. That seems fine. Now, did we finish that? Yes, we did. The CAR Hubble is now done. So we're going to head over to Nahal, and we'll excavate that site. There's a minor artifact that we can get here as well. So once we're done building one of these hyper relays, and we kind of can't build any others, then we are going to get that done. But there's a lot of hyper relays that we want to build. No doubt about that. And we don't have much for rare crystal income at this time, so that is a bit of a problem. Caesar Science is able to upgrade its planetary administration, and we have about 6 months until that is actually going to get underway. So that's fine for now. I do absolutely want to get either the Astral... Actually, the Astral Siphon is only 400. How much is the Research Lab? Same cost? Yeah, let's get the Astral Siphon here. Federation law, unanimous vote, war declaration. We vote yes on everything. So there we go. Fantastic. The Astral Siphon is going to go in there, and we completed the Star Fortress upgrade. That is perfect. What else do we want here? Well, habitat work, alloy nanoplants, coil guns would be convenient. I'm leaning towards alloy nanoplants for right now. Okay, so astral actions here, we can do the astral boost and gain physics insight. We're going to gain physics insight for right now. That seems fine. We're going to run out of consumer goods very soon. I'm going to buy in 250 of them. We're still kind of struggling with that. No doubt about it. Our consumer goods aren't going all that well. But we do have a bunch more underway, so... fingers crossed that ends up being okay, but our science worlds are definitely consuming a lot of it. No doubt about that. Commercial pact has been broken. Okay, sure. And what do we have going on here? The treaty, ancient macro batteries. Okay, so that should have finished up one of our science ships. Yep, the Leif Erikson here. We're going to head up to Golba, and we're going to excavate that site. Cool. So the CAR Africa has finished up in Barnard Star, giving us our first hyper relay lane. That's great. We can build a hyper relay over in Sirius. This will allow us to get around a lot faster. So we also need to think about the fact that we don't need rare crystals for every single one of these, right? What is that under? It's under discoveries, astral actions, and in 334 days, we can flash forge another hyper relay. So that is good to know. That is going to take some of the stress off of our rare crystals, but it's still going to be a lot. No doubt about that. I would love to get some proper rare crystal growth going here, but we're still very early on in these worlds. So that is definitely noted. We just finished in Leloria. We'll upgrade that Star Fortress. We should also upgrade these Star Fortresses. Those are going to be reasonably expensive, but that is fine. We'll get these guys upgrading as well, and that just means we're not going to cap our alloys anytime soon. So that sounds good. Xenoanthropologists, okay, we got some society research there. And this tech world requires a job. Okay, so we could definitely consider putting in another research lab here. That is certainly a possibility. And I think that's what we need to do. So we're going to put a research lab in here. That seems fine. We're at minus 12 consumer goods now. Okay, so our consumer goods are getting worse. No doubt about that. We're working on it. We're producing more consumer goods than ever before. We might want to consider moving, like, this world over, or maybe, like... This is already a factory world here. I'm thinking about maybe, like, this world could be moved over to just producing consumer goods. It would be a theoretical option. I don't necessarily love the concept. We could also swap this monument, which I feel like is unnecessary, over for a civilian industry. And I feel like that would help more. So that's okay.
Receiving transmission.
Migration treaty? Yes, actually. I don't mind getting our pops into their region, and their pops into our region will just be assimilated. So that sounds very, very good. I want to go into the species and see if there's anybody that needs to be assimilated right now. Oh, they're being worked on. Okay, that all sounds good. So this tech world requires a job, and that basically guarantees the need for a city district here. Okay. Looks good. There's a lot of stuff happening in the galaxy, but for the moment, we're not too concerned about it. We're working on building ourselves up powerfully right now. That is our overall goal.
Unshielded life signs detected in deep space.
Indeed. So at this point, I want to pull the CAR Atlantic over to Sapad, where we're going to grab this one minor artifact per month. That'll be fine. There's another one down here. Union of Pliffclaff. Yeah, we vote yes. We vote yes on everything. We shouldn't, but we do. It's wonderful. So Sirius Industrial here, we could move this off of Forge World, for sure. Yes, we vote yes on everything. Let's actually do that. Let's move this for now over to a factory world. All of these are going to swap over. And we're now producing a crazy amount of consumer goods. So that sounds good. The vote failed. That's fine. We don't actually care. So this tech world requires a planetary administration. We'll get going on that. Our pop count is absolutely exploding right now. Are we building a hyper relay here? Yes, we are. I don't feel like we need one down this way. I would definitely like to have one in the Gindor black hole. So I'm just thinking about how this layout would be. So coming from Sol, if we're trying to go up over here, right, we would definitely want to pass through over this way and then go up Rothier and then come up like that. But I would definitely like to have one down here if we're coming this direction and fighting these guys. So there's all that as a consideration, for sure. For now, I think we should head up to Isum, and we can just move there for the time being. We'll have a few more rare crystals by the time we get there. When can we flash forge one? Oh, we can do that right now. Do it. So flash forge a hyper relay in Isum. Looks good.
Research concluded.
So that's phenomenal. Hyperdrive 3 has been unlocked, and now we can go for something like the Defense Grid Supercomputer. 0-point reactor would take a while. I kind of feel like we should grab shields here. It'll be relatively quick, and that is absolutely phenomenal. I'm just kind of waiting until we get battleships to bring this up. Wow, that built so fast. Okay. I guess it also builds quasi-instantly. So let's head up to Rimok. That'll be fine for now.
Council agenda
and
ready.
This archaeological site is pending. That's a lot of physics research, 10,000. Not too bad. How many months is that? Okay, so our physics research is currently 558. That's like 20 months of physics research. I don't mind that. More minor artifacts found. Always good. This fortress world requires a job, which means a city district. Guaranteed. Okay, we actually need a lot of jobs. Hang on. So this generator world needs a mining district. This forge world definitely needs an industrial district. We're going to need a lot of minerals here. I'm going to buy in 4,000, and we're going to put in an industrial district here. This industrial world is kind of a mix between the two. We're going to build an industrial district. This tech world, I would really like, at this point, to put in a research institute. And actually, we can. This is a planetary capital, so we can put in a research institute at this time. Do it. That's going to put us negative in our exotic gases. We already were. So that is definitely a concern, but we'll get there. We need our building slots on tech worlds, so that is fine. On this factory world, we'll put in an industrial district. I'm actually thinking about moving this to an industrial world and splitting the difference, because I really feel like we need to do that. We're low on our alloy generation now, and we're too high on our consumer goods. This is better.
Agenda ready.
It's not perfect, but it's better. So military buildup is ready to go, and from here we could go for, like, synthetic yield. Yes, absolutely synthetic yield. That seems good. This factory world here, again, I'm thinking about having this go over to industrial world instead of factory world, and then we'll put in an industrial district. Now, this tech world, we pretty much need a city district on. I'd like to have another building slot available. And on our capital, we have that building slot. We should probably consider putting in the Research Institute. It's not in the list. Why isn't it in the list? That's interesting. It should be right here. Huh. Very interesting indeed. Perhaps the identity complex overwrites it? Or something along those lines? I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. But it's not available. And since it is not available, instead we're going to put in a research lab. Now, we're going to want to have some refineries going on eventually. The plan is for those to be habitats. So that's fine. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. But before we do that, we've got this tech world. And this tech world requires a specialist slot. And I would love, absolutely love, to put in an identity repository here. Let's buy ourselves some resources, let's get a city district, and then let's put in an identity repository. This doesn't have any jobs, so we need the city district to fill this job, although it's a specialist job. And I believe city districts give clerk jobs, which I believe are worker level? Yes. So we might have to wait for them to demote. How long does that demote take? 900 days? So that'll be about the time this identity repository finishes. Okay. That's probably fine. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to develop our worlds. And we are developing rapidly. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.